Excuse me. Alright, welcome to start up a new anime review series. This is I'm a noble but on the brink of ruin, so I might as well try mastering magic. How about trying this one? Yes. So this series overall is my 19th anime I've covered this year. Yes, 19th. New one, that is. Yeah, 19. And we're roughly halfway through the year. Yep. Excuse me, yes. So, this particular series says it's happening yet. Okay, so when I watched the first episode, I'm like, wait, this feels like another anime I've seen. We have a character waking up, and he's at a party. Or at least some type of event. This has happened in a couple different anime I've come across like this, where a character wakes up, and he's someplace not his regular place. This has happened with the Abe Saying Kidding Me, the Aristocrats A Worldly Adventure, Parallel Pharmacy. Yeah, these three anime basically, the start of them is very similar to the start of this one, except this one does not involve a wedding or something else. This one involves basically about celebrating the birth of his younger sister. Now, unlike in the case of some anime where he's the youngest son, but at least he's not like 8th or 7th. Here he's the 5th son. Interesting. So his name is Liam, which is not a name that I don't really come across very much in terms of anime. So he's the youngest son. So he wakes up at his party. As for how he got there, he says he was like drinking with his buddies after work, and then he just fell asleep, and then he wakes up there. Presumably he may have died because of like exhaustion from alcohol or something. It's not very clear here. They didn't even show the real world. Like, not really, no. At least it wasn't tragic, whatever. And here he basically started when he was 12, not like 3 or 4, like in the case of the other anime I've seen. At least not like the Aristocrats A Worldly Adventure with that one, where he's like a very much little kid, and of course he's like learning magic per se, and he meets someone mysterious who teaches him magic later on, and I think it was episode 1, I think it was, which is a similar concept I saw over in the Aristocrats A Worldly Adventure, where something happened with that one, except that was an elf and he was dead. This guy is very much alive, and of course meeting with a particular high-level official who does know this particular person, and of course basically like just give him stuff, which just like in the case of that one too, I'm like, okay, interesting. Actually, that's more like from the Eighth Son. Are You Kidding Me? That's basically where that comes from. Yeah, I'm like, wow. I did watch him and rewatch again like last year, but that's like 2 concepts basically from that show I see in this one. So after the party, he of course talks with his older brother, the 4th son. Like, oh, they're learning magic. He's very excited, of course, learning magic, which of course apparently like that is something I saw from Aristocrats A Worldly Adventure. And this is just the first episode. And this is like similar to what happened with Demon Lord Retry. Where like in the first episode, I'm already thinking of basically I've seen this already, at least in the case of that one. That one was in the case of like 6 different anime. This is like 3 in the first like 5 minutes. So the first episode alone, it's basically just the Aristocrats A Worldly Adventure, the Ape Academy, Fellow Pharmacy, and of course then he practically, of course, gets more grimoires. He looks for grimoire. He learns magic, or asks more grimoires his father. Okay, so they do mention that the Hamiltons, yes, that's their name, Hamilton, which I'm like, wow, that's an American last name, Hamilton. Not something you would hear from a Japanese type of anime, but okay. Yeah, because in the US, the most well known Hamilton, actually the most famous one was Alexander Hamilton, the first Secretary of Treasury, and also the fact the man is on the $10 bill. So they're apparently kind of a poorish family, which that's something also from Abe's Sunny Academy. The Red Scout's Red Adventure, that he wasn't poor. He basically, his father was like a viscount, I think it was. Yeah. So, but there's a reason why he's poor. And the reason is because, well, because he attempted to lead a hunting expedition for one monster, and he lost 90% of his soldiers. Also here, we have the eldest brother who's jealous of the younger one, which this one only one for this particular type of thing. The Abe's Academy. I get a lot of familiarity with that one. Like, I get a lot of nods, like unintentional nods, like very similar to that one. So then we see him like okay, so he runs into the guy, this mysterious man named Raymond, where he teaches him how to use magic, which also Ace Academy, like a lot of Ace Academy for this basically first 2 episodes alone. Then we have one particular scene, episode 2, which is basically similar to Beast Tamer. We'll get to that. So then after he learns magic, of course, and of course he gets more grimoires. Then of course basically he also ups the spell for illusion. And he tries to sell ramen that basically tastes so good. And he apparently can't sell it because he's the 5th son. And we see apparently his brother trying to sabotage him because he thinks he's trying to replace him. But he's like, no, I want to become independent. And he's like, okay, I'll send you to the Hunters Guild. Which, of course, he takes the test by, well, they mentioned this actually as an illusion here doing this, firing fire missiles at the Guildmaster, who is taking applications, which is normally not his job. Normally, this would be a job of a receptionist. This actually is the first anime I've ever seen do this, where this is done with the Guildmaster, not a receptionist, because even if it's basically like a hunter's, could usually have some pretty girl receptionists up there. I'm like, that's a first. Mm-hmm. Yep. They give him base first. So like, no wait, C, no wait, B, and then he meets on Aisha. Asta, her name is. So they go out and basically hunt for a monster, which basically have run into 42 wolves, which instantly, and this leads into another job they have, which is eliminating these giant caterpillars, which of course then they found the second one via enemy sense. Another thing, this actually is not from 8th Academy. That's actually from, I saw that in the Aristocrats That World the Adventure, that one. With his radar set. That's all he found his first two fiancés. So then he and Asta, where they're after they take care of the caterpillars, they meet the special person who knew, of course, his master, and like, ooh, his graduation gift is basically how the gold opens up a door, like, ooh, we have this magic that you can learn another world, which is basically a giant item box, because he built item box. Apparently he also was raising money for himself to become independent. People are thinking this, yeah, he does live with more monsters, and eventually he does form a contract. He's later given the opportunity to make Ayasa a familiar. Now, normally familiars are basically creatures, not usually people. But of course, this is something I mentioned just a few minutes ago, that this is something I saw in Beast Tamer. Except this one involved Beast Tamer taming basically pretty animal girls. Yes, who all basically have attraction to people like a dragon, a cat girl, fairies, all this stuff. So this is basically just a normal warrior girl. Yes. Yeah, the warrior girl thing with the way she is, like, I've seen that in many different anime. I can't think of all on the top of my head, but when I can think of first, based on my appearance, reminds me a lot of one of the masters from The Risk of Adventure. What you think? Why a cheeky forehead? Because I have a slight headache. And I'm just trying to put this video out there. Then, afterwards, you basically, oh yeah, she developed her unique skill, super speed. And Gilmat made me with a veteran hunter, which apparently, she apparently gets her own familiar contract, she gets de-aged, and she develops this ability to heal people. Okay, so have a party here. Interesting. And the episode ends with basically, oh, maybe you do with the princess. Like, no, then we see the princess in the episode where she disguises a maid, and in the episode. Really good episode here, and really good 2 episodes, and I can really discuss the remaining 10 episodes of the series. Well, who knows if we get season 2 of this one. Okay, so, that's pretty much it particular video. Please put your like on my subscribe notifications. If I feel better, I'll probably be able to, well, work on another video, okay? Thanks, video. Bye.